Hello, just going to put a quick footnote to this one because it's such a disturbing painting. Coming from who it was, Donald Nielson, the Black Panther. Because, he killed 4 people, tortured and messed about with hundreds of other people. He's doing armed robberies and home invasions and all sorts of nastiness. There's a documentary about him. But we're going to work with the victims of crime on this one when it comes to the sale of it. So it's going to be spread about with a few people and actual victims of crime and the situation that he left everybody behind. But I painted him because I just thought it needed to be a mark in history of how an evil man can carry on like he did. Thanks.
Yeah, it's just a quick explanation of this painting. It's painted in full Sutton, and the subject is a bloke called Donald Nielson, a notorious mass murderer. He ran rampage through the northwest of England for decades. Literally, he did over 400 armed robberies. He killed 3 people, including 3 postmasters. One of them, he also killed an heiress for some big estate. Leslie Whittle, I think her name was, yeah, Leslie Whittle. He's only a very small, tiny man. And when I met him in straight, like I say, in Full Sutton. I was a wing barber at the time, and he had to come and get his hair cut. So over the period of a few years, I got to know his story a little bit. He used to talk to me, never really talked to anybody. He was a complete vegan. He used to eat seeds rather than prison food. I don't think he ever ate prison food. And he was like a rabbit. He just never stopped. He was just constantly, he was retired, so he was allowed to stay on the wing. And he was just constantly up and down the stairs all day long, and because they have to keep you open if you're retired. Up and down the stairs all day long on the exercise yard for hours on end, marching, nearly running. His speed was always up there. And then after about 7 years with him on the wing, he caught motor neurons disease and started becoming where he could hardly walk, and it hit him really quickly. In a matter of about 4 weeks, he'd gone from literally marching double time round the yard for hours on end to barely getting out of his cell. So then between us, I agreed to make a note of his presence on the planet. And this painting's always disturbed me because of how evil he was. This man was pure evil. He used to do the armed robberies, get the money, go out of the place and go back in to kill the people. He was just absolutely ruthless. The police even set a trap up in the middle of the moor to catch him. And he got away from about 100 officers, right in the middle of them all. He managed to put a fishing line onto a thingy on a bridge and pull the money away before anybody got near him. He was a proper military type person from the north of England. I'm not sure where he was from actually, but absolutely ruthless. And like I say, as he started deteriorating quickly with his motor neurons, I ended up having to carry him up the cell, up the stairs to my cell. And it's a prop him. That's why the position of it looks a bit funny, and he looks funny because by this time he was starting to become all twisted up, and we had to prop him up in the corner, and he used to sit there for hours on end, while I painted him. But I just thought at the time, it was something that needed recording in history. I've also got the drawings that I did of this as well, and it's obviously monitored by the HMP prison service, so it's a factual thing. Obviously the little panther in the corner, because that was his nickname, the Black Panther. But this man was pure evil. There was nobody that in there who carried the things that he did. And I only seen the documentary a couple of months ago really about all the other things, all the armed robberies and the tortures and everything else that went with him. He was pure evil. And he couldn't, by the time I met him, he couldn't have weighed 6 stone. There was nothing left of him anyway. He was only small. But he caused terror for decades. Absolute terror. Such a little mild-mannered person, and even though I shouldn't have been talking to him, I had to talk to him through the barber thing. It was just strange, you know, the people that you get put in front of in prison. I know I wasn't an angel, but certainly never got anywhere near this fella. Well, that's a description of this painting. It was done in my cell actually, so, but my cell used to change every 4 weeks, so it didn't really matter. That was it. Story of Donald Nielson, the Black Panther.